Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you again. I remembered my intro this time. Hi, I'm back. Turn this down slightly. Hi, Ace Attorney. We're doing the thing. Apologies for the slightly late start. OBS didn't want to recognize that my my microphone was plugged in. So I was like, huh? What's going on? Where's the microphone? It's like, it's right here, dumbass. Yeah. So I haven't been sleeping well lately, so if I seem a little out of it, that's probably why. Also, I'm not used to having to... Actually, I have been getting up early because of, like, cleaning. So I guess I should be used to getting up early still. But yes, we're going to play Ace Attorney Investigations 2 again today. From what I remember, we were getting towards the end of Case 4 last time. Yeah. I did not, go back and look at my previous stream to see where exactly we were at. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna wing it. I don't know how well my voice is going to... My throat is going to hold up to doing all the voices for the characters and whatnot, but we shall see. And, yeah. Also, hi, this is my first stream back using my model again. Remember back in January where I started working on a new model? Or I guess back in December, actually. The model art's done, I still haven't started on the rigging again because I've got too much other stuff that I'm working on. So, Maybe I should just reveal the model art and then, like, rig it on stream so that I can force myself to do it. Anyway, let's, where the hell is Stream Elements bot? Just hasn't shown up this morning, okay. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? The so-called mistake in the report. Considering, I'm just now thinking that, like, considering which monitor I have my webcam on, I really should have set up my stream layout so that my model would be on the left side, so that when I look over at my other monitor, I'm not just awkwardly looking off screen. Anyway, I'm back with the witnesses, Your Honor. There they are. Oh, shit. I don't remember anyone's voices. It's been too long, so, What's all this about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did someone suddenly fall ill? I'll have a compress ready in 2 shakes of... Ow!
This better be good. Did somebody drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had.
Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you this won't take long.
Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya?
Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something. What is Judge Gavel up to? Bam. Dr. Hertz, this court asks that you provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? Okay, I know where we are roughly. Don't know what comes before or after, but I know where we are right now.
Grandma doesn't make mistakes, ever.
That's strange.
Huh? What do you mean?
In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings?
That's awful. How can you even say that?
What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that?
To help the true culprit, of course.
As if I'd know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort.
Then that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? Gee, I wonder. I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately, and then handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just moving the mic cord a little so that it's not sitting off to the side. Hopefully that didn't jiggle the port enough to, like, mess with the audio. Wait. For the record, I didn't do anything to the report. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story.
Why do we even need to? This is pointless.
I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much.
We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But Grandma, ouch! We really don't have time for this.
Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is.
Grandma says she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer.
And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy the last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. The double faces in the thing. The so-called mistake in the report.
There's no way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not ever.
I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch. And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file, hmm? Don't make a lick of sense.
And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
Okay, so we have to press to get the statement we want. I wonder if it's going to be as blatantly obvious as it was in the fan translation, because I do remember this part from the fan translation. Oh god, Excelsius. I don't remember what his official objection voice sounds like. See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings.
And you swear by the holy goddess that this testimony is true? Of course, Grandma's never told a lie in her...
Objection!
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you.
Not necessary? That's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has.
Oh hey, there's string moments. Took your time. Took your darn time. Anyway.
Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor.
Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. Rebuttal. Oh shoot, that's what my health is looking like? What did I do last time? How many times did I fail? Oh no. I'm guessing this is probably where we press. The victim appears to have put on this raincoat after sustaining the head injury. And yet there was not a single drop of blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem.
Oh, that's... ouch.
I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My dang report already says what you just said, don't it?
Objection!
Your report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem. Which is the exact opposite of what I just said.
Oh. Sure.
I diligently dictated to Florence here, and she wrote it all down just like I said. If something happened to it after that, or nothing to do with me.
You dictated it. If you could please tell me more. I diligently dictated that report to Florence. Anything after that were nothing to do with me. Okay. So it's not... In that case, it's not as blatantly obvious as I thought it was, because I thought she was just going to say, oh yeah, it was... obviously, it was pre-mortem, and then we get that statement, and then we present the autopsy. But now... Do we have the autopsy here? Coroner's finding. Initial findings of Hilda Hertz. Signed Hilda Hertz, coroner.
Hold it!
Just so we're on the same page, what were your conclusions regarding the body?
Well, like I said, ouch! Sorry, it was,
Death from a good hard knock to the noggin.
Can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Hertz?
Pre-mortem, of course. Chest wound happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that and she wrote it right down, so that's what it says in my danged report.
That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. Okay, so I guess we do just present it. Anything after that doesn't have nothing to do with me. I'm guessing we just present this.
Objection!
Yeah, okay. Because in the fan translation, they just make it obvious that, like, she said the opposite of what's in the report. But here it's like, oh, I just dictated it. Blah, blah, blah. They don't actually put it in the statement itself, so that's... I feel like anyone who hasn't seen the fan translation is going to struggle with that statement, maybe? Because they make it seem obvious with the press dialogue, but what's actually in the testimony isn't quite as blatant. Anyway. Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself.
Oh, I'll read it to... Ouch!
Smack.
This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all.
What? What do you mean exactly?
I don't know. But I can't say that.
Smack. Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gavelle something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Oh, she was supposed to be doing an impression. Never mind.
Wow, that was a great impression. I really like how you didn't try to sound like her at all.
Yes, but was it really necessary? So in summary, there is an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error? Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem, they're practically the same word, don't you think? No? Sir. Sir. No. Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it.
But why would she want to change it? Exactly, thanks,
Ow. You won't get away that easily. Explain yourself, young lady.
But Grandma,
You submitted a falsified report, an act that led to Kay being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation.
I can't tell you.
Not don't want to, but can't? This really is rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. As if, you know, you weren't all ganging up on Kay earlier. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake. So why not leave it there? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you. What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're gonna need to explain yourself better than that. I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's a co-conspirator. Obviously. Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice.
No!
Oh, she's a co-conspirator, this innocent young thing? Do share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy.
The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to maintain attendee numbers. That's right, because the number of attendees was still the same after Rosie was murdered. Rosie Ringer. I could only think of her fan-translated name.
If the auctioneer was the murderer, and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees even after the murder doesn't make sense.
Hey, watch it! Y'all gotta call my good word into question now, too?
That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator. I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong. I wasn't wrong, I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. Well, so that's your thinking, is it? It's certainly an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away. I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction?
I wouldn't do something like...
Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they?
I can't tell you. I just can't. It'd hurt Grandma, too. Ow! But Grandma...
Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything, child.
But... Grandma!
Oh,
Grandma!
So I was right. She was an accomplice.
Miss Needler, why?
Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself?
Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma, but I'm all right now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer.
So you admit you were working with the ringleader?
Yeah, I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them.
The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim?
They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counterplan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there.
Hold it! Now hold on right there, Missy. I didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. If you'd have been there from before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering that report only a few minutes ago. And you were trying to cover for her, so I don't know why you're acting so smug.
Objection!
I think we're all well aware that the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friend the nurse was hiding, hmm? Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom. I believe it's the box. The clothing box from case 2 of the second Ace Attorney game.
Take that!
Justice for All. She hid inside this clothes box. Oh, she did she?
Huh? Well, it was there the whole time, even before I moseyed on in. Like I told you, it had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere.
I imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived.
That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped the whole box up in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not long after. It was just before the auction was due to start.
So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom.
Yeah, I think so.
The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around then.
You betcha. I was behind the statue there shaking like a danged leaf the whole time.
In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role was to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler?
Yes. In fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold it. Hold up. So you just waltzed right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not a one of the other folks down there at the auction cottoned on?
Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because she had stolen the victim's clothes. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser.
No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and left the poor child in her smalls? Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her.
So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before.
Guess the point where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, must be. It all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spied me 11 happy little auction goers, then back I snuck to my little hidey hole.
Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that.
Well, that is... not exactly.
What is it? Did something happen?
So maybe I ought to have mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say.
What? What happened?
Oh, nothing much. kind of silly, really, but there was this sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Alright, maybe more than a little. But I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess that got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day, and there y'all were clanking down that ladder.
I see. So you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that.
Oh, I think I know what happened here.
Not per se, but... well, the auction was over and all the masks were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they was supposed to.
Nurse Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing?
I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids, just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box as I'd been instructed. It had a dead body inside, after all. Imagine if somebody else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then.
So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime?
No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except that I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead.
Kay.
Yes, she must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh?
That would explain it. Kay would have been so hooked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her, that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. That was the sound of Kay crashing onto the storeroom floor.
Yeah, I suppose. Can't believe something like that done knocked me out for so long, though.
So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue.
Sure. So I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo.
Was that your idea, or the ringleader's?
Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done.
I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case.
And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in the auctioneer's outfit we'd prepared.
Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer.
All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing, and that was that.
Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately.
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so... Oh! You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you?
That's where you draw the line? So taking her clothes... No! She complained about taking her clothes as well.
Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kinda panicked, but the ringleader had thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box.
2 wigs? But why?
Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her style. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day.
Leaving the wavy wig in the box. Or leaving a wavy wig in the box.
Nurse Needler's statement, jot it down.
And that's everything you know? There's nothing else you're forgetting?
No? Huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything.
And I take it you really have no idea who the ringleader might be?
Sorry, I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone.
It's a secret to everyone. Is that how the phrase goes? I forget. The fucking Zelda phrase. Ugh. If I can't get something concrete on them. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Well, Miles, are we about done? You've proven the nurse was a part of the murder plot, but sadly that doesn't change a whole lot. It does? Because Kay is very clearly not guilty? Oh, but of course, this is Ace Attorney. Unless you can find the true culprit, then, yeah, your culprit must be guilty. Your client must be guilty. Because it does nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. Yes, it does? Yes, it does. Nurse Needler literally just said that that she found Kay unconscious at the foot of the ladder. Are you fucking stupid? And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay? You've... In any context other than Ace Attorney, you would have already saved her.
Objection!
Oh! There she is. Francisca! What are you doing here?
As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't get the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor.
I understand that.
You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information.
Detective Gumshoe did that?
Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the injuries she suffered, not the second.
We already figured that one out, Francisca.
Well, someone say something.
Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already proved that ourselves.
You what?
Yes, just a few minutes ago!
Well, why didn't you say so sooner?
You didn't exactly give us a chance.
And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too?
No, not yet.
Huh, good. Then listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem.
A circular surface?
Objection.
Okay, that's his voice. So it's not as gravelly. And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board?
Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection.
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of...
Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to the related parties, especially the victim.
My, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear?
Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head.
With a circular object.
Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified.
Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two.
But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation.
And yet, one only need to think about the setting and an auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used in an auction? We're obviously talking about the auctioneer's hammer. Judge Gavel's hammer. What would an auctioneer readily have at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course. I'm pretty sure it's called a gavel. Or is it only called a gavel in a court setting? I don't know.
We never found one of those.
If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that.
Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. Where is it? This Hart's statement, I believe. Auction continued even after Ringer's murder, but no sound of the auctioneer's hammer could. But the sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was now covered in the victim's blood. There's no now in that sentence, but don't worry about it. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right, Chairman Winner?
I'll have our people look into this right away.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. You really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you,
Why do I feel like I'm being called out right now? He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess.
We're not going to find it.
To be continued.
Okay. How has it not even been an hour yet? I forgot how much time seems to stretch when I'm streaming. I'll overwrite this one. I love how you can clearly tell that the other characters are just in a completely different style because they don't have to like move around and stuff. Aside from, you know, moving their head. April 6th.
Silence in the courtroom, please. Miss Von Karma, if you would be so kind as to update us on the progress of the search. It's not good news, I'm afraid. The entire big building has been searched from top to bottom, and no auctioneer's hammer was found anywhere. That is bad news indeed. Then we have no choice but to move ahead with the verdict.
The verdict? Such a terrible shame. But I suppose only a fool would have left the murder weapon behind. Certainly not what I'd expect from a first-rate criminal mind.
No. There's just not enough to work with here. I can't carry us any further on my own.
Yes, it really is a tragedy, but such is life, I suppose. I was just thinking back over the defendants I've made plea deals with over the years. People who poured their hearts out to me, who trusted me with every detail of their crimes. And then when it came to their sentencing, I recommended life in prison every time. For every single one. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I may not know the law, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Oh, if only you could see them. The stupid, dumbfounded looks on their faces. Like, you can't... If someone confesses something in exchange for a plea deal, you can't just then go and not honor the plea deal, surely.
The verdict will now be passed. All present will accept the goddess's word as law. There's nothing more I can do. Kay and I are both... If only we had some proof. I never imagined I would be passing judgment on you under such circumstances. The end of the road, huh? By the power vested in me. Excelsius Winner, this court hereby indicts you for your crimes. Yeah!
Let's go. What? Huh. What on earth's gotten into you, Verity? Oh, flipped Gavel sprites feel weird.
I submit for the court's consideration the case file of a certain incident. Namely, the IS-7 incident, a murder that took place 18 years ago.
What does that file have to do with... Wait, you mean... Your late-night visit to this chamber was to...
Precisely. I came here to retrieve these documents. Though sadly, it would seem I arrived too early to catch the auction itself. When we spoke of the matter before, I implied that I had come to retrieve files pertaining to your own case. You'll have to forgive me. That was a ruse to buy myself more time.
The IS-7 case file!
What the heck are you doing, Gavel? You can't just accuse my dad. Without proper grounds, it's deformation.
An excellent observation, Eustace, even if you got the word wrong.
It is?
And of course, I have the grounds to make such an accusation. 18 years ago, Mr. Manfred von Karma had some details about the victim's body fabricated.
Details he was forced to fabricate when the sculptor Artie Frost's body went missing.
My papa? Fabricating evidence? What is the meaning of this?
Are you not aware of that, Francisco?
Ian Seidman, the detective originally assigned to the case, did in fact report the body had gone missing. However, it seems that a certain someone wasn't very pleased with Mr. von Karma, and deliberately withheld that information in order to bring him down a few pegs. What? This individual refuses to allow anyone to go against their wishes or to challenge their power, and they're known to go to extreme lengths in order to bring down those who defy them to heal.
Bring those who defy them to heal, not bring down.
18 years ago, they were no different. In fact, they even ordered Dr. Hertz to create a fake autopsy report for the IS-7 incident.
What? She was responsible for the fake report?
Wait, you have to understand, Grandma, she's not a bad person. She had to do what he said. She didn't have any choice.
He?
The person in question was the chief prosecutor at the time.
The chief prosecutor 18 years ago? No.
The man who gave Papa the first penalty of his career.
Excelsius winner! It was you!
Objection!
What are you all talking about? My dad would never do something like that.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, Eustace, but your opinion on the matter is not needed here. Well, Chairman Winner, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All that nonsense with the body, that was Manfred's doing. Such a willful boy. And the fake autopsy report? Hilda, how could you? I can't believe you naughty kids would do such dishonest things behind my back.
Hold it!
We could just ask her why she did it. She is standing right over there, after all.
Wait, Grandma can't. She's... Ah! Grandma, I'm sorry. I knew. That's why I... Right, exactly. If I didn't, everybody would have found out what you did. They said he was going to charge you if I didn't help them with their plan. They said that he would... I just had to do what the auctioneer said.
So you were coerced into it, were you, Nurse Needler? And just to be clear, the auctioneer was Chairman Winner?
I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. The person forcing me to help them was the auctioneer. And they definitely looked to be about the same build as the chairman, but I never saw their face.
Well, there must be something, any detail, no matter how small will do.
Oh, wait! Their masks didn't cover their whole face.
And the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that for sure.
A tattoo?
Objection.
This all sounds very dramatic, but I don't know what you're talking about. There's no tattoo anywhere on my face. I think I'd know if there was one, wouldn't you? Which means I can't be the ringleader, no matter how much you might want me to be. I only hope you can figure out who this shameless manipulator might be.
Overruled.
Your contempt for this courtroom is an insult to the goddess. Are you sure it's not you who's feeling insulted here? Now is not the time for snark, Miles. I am not the only one who has been trying to bring you to justice. Miss Ringer has been trying too. And I refuse to let her sacrifice be in vain.
Young Rosie was looking to take me down, you say? But why? I barely knew her. I've always had a certain magnetic charm, but I don't remember ever catching that particular eye.
You barely knew the victim? Why, I do believe that is a new statement. The goddess demands you offer your full testimony on the record.
So that's how this is going to be, hmm? You mean to hound me until I finally break? Well, if that's the way you want to play it, fine. I'll destroy you all. Every last one of you.
Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to work with you on this one. I doubt we'll get another chance to put him on the stand. So let's make the most of this opportunity.
Of course, Your Honor. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Let's go! Now, Chairman Winner, you will tell this court everything you know about Miss Ringer.
Everything I know about Miss Ringer. Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. But we never really had any personal interactions, at least none that I remember. I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me. Okay.
So you don't mean to accept your part in any of this? Of course he doesn't. He isn't guilty. How could he be? He's my dad, the winner of winners.
That's very kind of you, Eustace, but you'll need more than mere words if you plan to cover for me.
Right, you got it. I won't let them pin this on you. I believe in you, Dad. You'll beat Edgeworth. I know you will.
Yes, yes. You really are such a sweet, simple child.
He really loves his dad, huh? But that's no excuse for him to ignore his father's crimes. No matter how much he respects him. Regardless of their station in life, all criminals will be made to atone for their sins.
This won't be easy on Mr. Winner. But it has to be done. We can't let his father get away with this. Okay, I have no idea what we need to present, so let's get pressing. Yeah, health is recharged, let's go. Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. As a member of the committee, you must at least have been familiar with her face. Sure, but that's about all. I saw her once in a while. I saw her every once in a while. And that's it. Never really had any personal interactions.
Hold it!
So you're saying you barely knew the victim at all? That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy, yes. Why, I never even knew about that burn mark on her hand. You didn't? I mean, what's the point? You get to know someone, but before you know it, they're gone. It's become such a painful thing to remember things about others. They're here one day, gone the next. Yes, because they dare to stand up to you and you make them disappear. Talking about people disappearing right now holds a bit of an uncomfortable weight. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winner. I didn't even know about the burn mark. I believe. Do we have it in here already? Oh yeah, fitted with a recording device that captured one of the people recorded had a prominent burn. So let's have a listen. Twisting this horn makes it play the recording. And I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Which implies that the person speaking knew about the burn. Nothing to say for yourself, I waited long for this day. It's time for my revenge. Ah, skr, bird.
Objection!
No? Okay. What do you think of this piece of evidence, Chairman Winner? Ooh, let's see. I think it's absolutely nothing. And I'm sure Eustace agrees. Sure do, Dad. It's totally irrelevant. No! To get swatted down by the lesser winner.
Mr. Winner's really enjoying this, huh?
Of course he is. He has his father here to back him up. But that's just fine. I'll take the both of them down together. Okay, let's press then. Let's press instead. You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark? You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar on their hand and who doesn't. This wasn't any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact. Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, Miss Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself. The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves. Oh, now we present it. Because the victim, because one of the people had a prominent burn mark, and that if she always wore gloves, then it wouldn't be visible. It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things. I can only sympathize, being something of a sensitive soul myself. I hope you're not too sensitive to append that statement to your testimony. Though I suppose she was always wearing gloves, perhaps it was to hide that burn. Now we present it.
Objection!
Yeah! Music stopped. That's how you know you got it right. So, Miss Ringer always wore gloves. If she did, that raised a rather important question, and highlights quite a contradiction. A contradiction? Really? A contradiction, you say? Really? If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by this stuffed cow, you'll soon see what I mean. Bzd skirsk is and this is how we're doing voice changer.
You can't hide this blood from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I finally have my revenge.
Ooh! Skirsh bzd. We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard is the moment the victim was attacked. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. We assumed that those were the words of the killer. And where's the problem in that? Seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me. Huh. I'm afraid not, Chairman Winner. For you see, if the victim was always wearing gloves as you testified, then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to the killer.
Objection!
You speak as if gloves can't be easily removed. She could have taken them off during the auction. That's... I mean, that is a valid point.
But she hadn't. She was still wearing them when I changed places with her. They must have been on her hands when she was being murdered, too.
What are you saying, my dear? You do know how much trouble you're in, don't you?
I'm not scared of you anymore. I have Grandma on my side now. Now it's time for you to pay the piper, Winner, you dang devil.
I see. So you're both looking to disappear too. That can be arranged. Not this time, Excelsius Winner. The only person disappearing will be you.
Objection!
Hey, you can't talk to my dad like that. Who cares if the burn was covered up? Why does that even matter?
Objection!
Oh, it matters. Because it turns our understanding of the burn mark on its head.
What do you mean? What can the fact that the victim's burn mark was covered up possibly tell us?
The murderer had a burn mark too, the victim didn't have... Okay, the murderer had a burn mark too. Think about it like this, Mr. Winner. The victim was wearing gloves, therefore the burn mark on her hand would not have been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording?
Somebody who, wasn't the victim?
Precisely, which can only mean that the culprit had a prominent burn mark too. Or to put it another way, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Those words were spoken not by the murderer, but by the victim.
No way!
Objection.
Eustace, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a sec? Look, Miles, it's nice seeing you having fun with your little flights of fancy, but let's get serious. So the murderer had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory will either take flight or die depending on your answer here, I'm afraid. He's not messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was and fast.
I wonder where it could have been. All the auction people were wearing disguises, right?
Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet in spite of that, the burn mark was visible to the victim somehow, which means... Well, shall we? Enlighten us, won't you? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence. I do indeed. Also had a tattoo on the part of their face that the mask didn't cover. Here is my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction. Or rather, the outfit you were wearing, Chairman Winner. Ah, ha, 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 oh. And what exactly is that supposed to tell us?
Objection.
A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin. But according to Nurse Needler's testimony, the auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. Not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on the part that was exposed. But was it a tattoo, or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one?
A burn mark? On the face?
Objection.
Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But I regret to inform you that none of the committee members have such a burn. Myself included, of course.
But Dad, you...
He didn't say you, though. Eustace, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later. Well, you may be an annoyance most of the time, Mr. Winner. But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good of an indicator as the truth as I could have hoped for. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost concerning another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to.
What's the matter with Mr. Winner?
I think he might be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer.
He's sad because he knows the truth? So it's better to not know the truth at all?
No, Kay. It's what we came here for. It doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth. You told me yourself that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence.
I want to know too. The truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me?
I very much intend to. Oh, you don't know when to give up, do you? Where is this burn, then? Perhaps you could point it out for me? But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found, just like your evidence that I'm the killer.
Yeah, hunt for contradictions all you like. You won't find any. Because he's my dad. A winner through and through.
Objection.
I understand, Mr. Winner. I completely understand why you don't want to believe it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live.
Dad? What do I do?
I just don't understand it. How could I have raised such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Eustace, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwit.
But I try all the time, Dad. All I do is try. I went to the school you wanted me to go to. I aced every test. Look at my jacket. They only give these to the valedictorian. I did everything you told me to do. I worked like crazy and graduated top of my class. I tried to be just like you and win as many trophies as I could.
Objection.
You really are just a simpering simpleton, aren't you? Those tests you aced, I had the school give you perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won, the judges were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all. You're no son of mine. Even you must see that. No. Gone. My own son. They all leave in the end. Oh. I mean, boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Even when he was trying, he was failing. And he did it all for me. Then he should have tried harder. You're a disgrace. You don't deserve to be a father. And you certainly don't deserve to be chairman of this committee.
Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Poor Mr. Winner. Explain yourself, Chairman Winner. Just what do you think your son is to treat him in such a way?
An utterly useless pawn sounds about right. But you're one to talk, Verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Eustace, too.
I cannot deny it. However, I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be a naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some ways, he tries harder than anybody. That's what I have witnessed during my time with him. Yet you would call him useless? How could you?
I mean, he literally did call him useless. That's what his name is supposed to be.
Objection.
Because he is Verity, my girl. He's utterly incapable of doing anything I ask of him.
Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment onto Excelsius Winner.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have been more than ready to do so.
If the ringleader had a visible burn on their face that night, then it would follow that Chairman Winner is currently hiding that mark somehow. How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last. Now then, your answer, please. Which piece of evidence will help us reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? I know what it is, but I don't know where we stored it. Where did we put it? No. In here? No. Here, right? Ringleader prepared wigs in order to enable their accomplice to disguise herself as Miss Ringer. One wig was straight, the other was wavy. The wavy one was not used.
Take that!
Why is that relevant? Take a look at Excelsius's hair.
Recall Nurse Needler's testimony, if you will.
There was one thing we never quite resolved.
The second wig. The one that wasn't used.
I seem to remember it being wavy. What are you two talking about? Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim. And? What did they have to do with the burn mark?
What she found were two wigs. One was intended to make her look more like the victim. But what was the other one for?
I don't suppose it was meant to be a spare. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman Winner's current appearance to that of the ringleaders as it was described to us.
Stop it. Stop staring at me.
One very prominent difference presents itself. His face, or rather what's around it. You mean... it wasn't a wig after all?
Indeed, not a wig intended to go on top of the head in any case. It was a fake beard all along, wasn't it, Excelsius winner? Ah, this? Why, this is all my own, dear boy. How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise.
Objection!
We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth, and how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in light of his realization. Yet you still feared that he might expose you. So rather than take that risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that behind your beard lies a prominent burn mark. Chairman Winner, I insist that you remove your beard this instant. And there's the burn mark, in the shape of a skull. Which is why she mistook it as a tattoo.
There it is, the burn mark. Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing evil to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks.
No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you.
Excelsius Winner, in the name of the goddess, I hereby pronounce my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Miss Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty.
April 6, 9:44 a.m. Man, it's still early as shit. How early did the hearing start? Jesus Christ.
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you.
There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor. No, as a friend. It was the least I could do.
Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice. I've learned that Chairman Winner has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auction hammer continues. However, we are talking about Chairman Winner here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. In addition, there is one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan.
What? How could that be?
He claims that he and Miss Needler had found this letter on Miss Ringer's person, and that they found a second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From their contents, the letters seemed to ones of correspondence. Not seem to be? Is that another typo? So he leapt to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other. That's quite the conclusion to jump to. As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victims in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket.
Sounds to me like he's just trying to make excuses for himself.
Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of last-ditch ploy on his part. But it matters not. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He will not escape justice.
I'm gonna have a throat lozenge.
And with that, one of the duties to which I have been entrusted with is complete at last.
Oh no, it's all sticky. We're like halfway through March. Why is it still so fucking hot? It should be autumn now.
Judge Gavelle, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman Winner came to murder Miss Ringer? There's more there, isn't there? Yes, and I suppose you have earned the right to the whole truth. Miss Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auctions,
he was disappeared. I'll be honest, the choice... I mentioned this earlier, the choice of words is really unsettling me right now, considering the same choice of words is currently being used in the US for certain things that are happening. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first. I see. So that's the story behind this case. While the goddess does not condone acts of wanton vengeance, Miss Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman Winner's crimes at last. So that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Excelsius Winner and the corruption at the heart of the committee.
Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Winner?
I'm afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him.
Do you have any idea why?
Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me the most.
Oh, I really feel bad for him.
Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now. And no matter how hard it might be, he'll need to learn to accept it. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life. Trust me. Father's influence isn't easily erased. Yeah, Francisca knows about that all too well. But in time, he can hopefully try and change his ways.
You're right. You've got to be. Can I change too, I wonder? Can I move on with my life?
Are you okay, Kay? How's that head feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm so sorry, Kay. You were my patient. I had a responsibility to you. Instead, I let them accuse you. Ouch!
Dang right, we ain't just in the business of fixing bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins.
You're right, Grandma. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like, with a little more time, maybe I'll be able to remember some more.
Please forgive me, but I had better be on my way. I am to preside over the trial of Fifi Lagarde in a bit. The Bronco Knight case, huh? Who's the defense attorney? It was supposed to be Miss Ringer, but as she is no longer with us, we are still in the process of finding her replacement. Miss Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Lagarde? Of course, until we find Eustace, there is nobody to act for the prosecution either. In any case, I must take my leave.
Wait, please. What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's going to happen to it now?
With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So to answer your question, it's complicated. It's all up to the goddess now.
But...
Don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making. And I assume you do not mean to change your mind? Of course not. I chose the path of the truth, and I chose it willingly. With Chairman Winner out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I would be more than happy to facilitate such a decision. It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore.
I see.
It seems we are destined to continue on different paths then. Huh. Well, I trust you'll keep my badge safe until they converge again. With all I have. In the meantime, I have here a token of the goddess's mercy. You may return this notebook to its rightful owner. Kay's promise notebook. It seems it was due to be sold in the auction. and with the name K written on its cover, Chairman Winner made the connection immediately and knew who it belonged to. It was the same name as the one on the letters, after all. The letters he claimed to know nothing about. I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them? Yes. He also had something else to say. Apparently he thought Miss Faraday was after her notebook, and that Miss Ringer was after his life. And that their respective goals are what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together. Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was all just happenstance. If Kay had known a defense attorney who was also a member of the committee, there's no way she wouldn't have told me. That just isn't like her. Bro, she's known you for like a week-ish.
Your belief in her is touching. While the notebook did become part of Chairman Winner's cover-up scheme, it is also a treasured possession of Miss Faraday's, which is why I would like for her to have it back. As I am sure with the goddess.
Thank you.
I pray that it helps her recover her lost memories.
Off she goes.
Is everything all right?
Judge Cavell wanted me to return something important to you. Okay. I feel like this image is like prime candidate for like editing an L onto the front of the notebook. It's like perfect for it. Edgeworth handing you the L.
Isn't that... Always greet people with a smile. Even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers.
Aww.
Daddy, I wrote them all down, Daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you. Oh, wait. I forgot to write one down. The most important promise of all. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Hehe. I remembered it just how you said it. And now I'll never forget it. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. That's right. I have to try...
I hate this sprite.
I'm... Kay Faraday, the great thief who'll do anything to get our hands on the truth. Second Yanagarasu, an assistant to Mr. Edgeworth.
Kay, is that really you?
Heh, can't say I'm not a little bit embarrassed, but... Yeah, I'm back. I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Edgeworth. You never stopped helping me even when I was totally lost and couldn't remember anything.
Thank goodness. You certainly seem to be back.
Kay, so this is the real you, huh? Welcome back. It's good to know you're better. I can sleep easy now. Now that you found it, don't you dare go losing that memory of yours again, young lady, you hear? Miss Needler, Dr. Hertz, thanks a lot for looking after me. And if you really are better, how about you get out of them danged hospital duds? Oh yeah, I washed all your clothes for you. Here.
I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe.
He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics.
And did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note?
I didn't ask. Anyway, never mind that now. Put them on, Kay. I want to see.
Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them.
Oh, it's probably fine. She may have taken a big old bump on the head, but she wasn't really hurt otherwise.
But then, why all the bandages in the first place?
Prevention is better than cure. A stitch in time saves 9. Those are just a few of my mottos.
In reality, there were probably just a shitload of bandages to make it look worse than it is.
both of which sound like painfully annoying practices for your patients.
Okay, Kay, transformation time!
Henshin! Whatever. There she is. Magical girl transformation.
Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove.
That... Wouldn't a stolen glove not properly fit you because it'd be someone else's?
That smile suits you better too. As it always did. Thanks to you too, Miss Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did.
I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see you're back to your old self too.
Speaking of Gummy, where is he?
Who knows? Perhaps the well of his devotion ran dry when he heard a certain someone threw away his badge. Detective Gumshoe. Anyway, I have to be going. And I'll be taking those two with me.
Wait, what's gonna happen to them?
Acting as an accomplice in murder and forging an autopsy report 18 years ago, their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. Is there... What's the statute of limitations on forging evidence? That wasn't in the book. But the fact that Excelsius Winner coerced them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account.
Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grandma and me are together, we'll be alright.
Can you stop slapping your grandma over the head?
Take care, Kay Faraday, until we meet again.
Why is Lotta still here? So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions.
Sure, ask away.
What happened the day you lost your memory? What were you doing?
Let's see, somebody asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was.
Strange danger.
So there I was, just looking up at the moon when somebody in a red raincoat started walking toward me. They must have drugged me somehow, because that's when I fell unconscious.
What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gourd Lake looking up at the moon?
Anyway, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a daze and stumbling around up there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised, I stumbled backward, and then I was falling, and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat, who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Thinking about it's making my head hurt.
Just breathe, Kay. You only just got your memory back. You're still confused. I imagine the root cause of your confusion is your memories of two different locations. Imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake 1 minute and then at the top of the big building the next. Because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended your memories of the two together.
Huh? But those are two totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily.
I believe these things on the roof may make you more likely to become confused. I think the concession stand?
Take that!
And the tree. There are two key similarities between the scene down by Gourd Lake and here on top of the big building. Cherry blossoms and food stands.
Wait, you're right!
Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in midair. They were walking toward you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, that same sight played out over the viewing platform instead.
No way! Who steals a great thief's memories, huh? That's just cheating!
Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kay in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Beep, beep, beep. Do you hear that?
Sounds like it's coming from up in the storeroom. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, hoo-wee, I smell another scoop in the... Often? Okay. You're still here? Can you stop snapping photos? 51st floor storeroom. I recognize this thing. Do you recognize that this first appeared in, I believe, the final case of the second Ace Attorney game? And anyone who knows what this is knows what's about to happen. Sorry, my throat is still not used to streaming again. I think whatever I play after Ace Attorney, I should play something that doesn't require me to do voice acting. Anyway, it's coming from this little gadget here, Mr. Edgeworth. Nah. This transceiver. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Beep, beep, beep. It's still going. But I'm not good with technology. Come on, you have to pick it up. Fine, I'll do it. Beep. Hey, this is Edgeworth.
Okay, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me. Mr. Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice. Shelley the Killer! Congratulations on another case solved. Yet I can't truly say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now that there was a mastermind at work orchestrating the entire incident. How do you even know about this case? That's not what's important right now. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering myself if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain the piece of evidence that proved so damning to Kay's case?
No way! An evil mastermind? But who?
Who indeed? Perhaps you could share your thoughts? What is the evidence in question that points to someone else's involvement?
I think it was...
It was this one, I think?
Take that!
The letter K supposedly wrote to the victim.
Yeah, I don't remember ever writing that.
So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know. And how do we know it wasn't you? Now why would I do a thing like that, I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you've had your badge revoked, that is no longer an option. So how will it all end? I, for one, will be watching from the sidelines with interest.
He even knows about my badge?
Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Now, I bid you farewell.
Beep.
What the heck did he mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? And why is he so interested in us anyway? Ugh, everything's just one giant ball of mysteries.
It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. However this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth.
The end.
Now it's only 10:40 over here, so I guess we can probably start the final case. We definitely won't finish it because it's the final case, so it's going to be super long. But we can start it. Turnabout for the ages. Let's go. Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder who that could be.
Episode 5, Turnabout for the ages.
What? Stomp. Boom. Boom. That's a big ass eye. Oh, there's that kid. Have we learned what this thing is called in the English version yet? In the official English version? Because I remember what it's called in the fan translation. Maybe not. Anyway, April 6th, 10:02 a.m., Big Building Plaza. So what's next for the great Miles Edgeworth, huh? Wait, you are serious about not being a prosecutor anymore, ain't you? That should have been no more, not anymore. Yes, I am. No longer a prosecutor. It's hard to believe, and yet...
Can't stop thinking about what Mr. the Killer said.
Why does that taxi have a Pegasus on top of it? Me neither. Me either. Congratulations on another case solved. And welcome to this flashback that literally just happened. Yet I can't say it's been fully resolved. Can you? This isn't over. We still don't know who the mysterious figure in the red raincoat at Gourd Lake was. Or who really wrote that letter. We've been dancing to somebody else's tune this whole time. But whose?
Still can't let it go, huh? You're like a dog with a dang bone. Both of y'all are. Well, I got me some reportering to do. So I'll catch you some other time, I guess. Wow, you have a new story to chase already? You trying to patronize me, girlie? You bet I got news stories. More than you can shake a stick at. A good reporter always has 3 or 4 leads bubbling away in the old scoop pot. Somebody, please! Whoa, what now? Please, you have to help me.
Huh? Do I know her? What's the matter? Has something happened?
There's a body. It looks almost like it's a monster might have...
A monster?
Well, I'll be. Anybody else smell the sweet, sweet smell of scoop soup? Scoop soup. This way, hurry.
Why does she run like that?
What's happened now?
What indeed? Suppose there's only one way to find out.
April 6th, 10:05 a.m., big building, empty lot. Huh? These look like... Yep, footprints. This right here's photo gold.
Footprints?
How big would a creature have to be to leave prints like that? Mr. Edgeworth, look!
Oh no.
Rest in peace.
Shilong Long. What's he doing here?
Wait, the guy on the floor, that's...
No. Dijun Wang, the president of Zhengfa. Well, that was in his head. I didn't need to voice act it. Agent Long. Mr. Prosecutor. How'd you get here so quick? What is going on here? Huh? You don't think that's exactly what I'm trying to figure out myself? We can't blame him for being on edge, I suppose. The leader of his country is dead. Speaking of which... the body is lying inside one of the footprints. What on earth happened to him? Lotta, not now.
Monster!
Monster?
What the heck else do you want me to say, huh? Them right there is monster prints, mister. That big old bad old Torosaurus done stop right through here. I ain't never been sure of nothing. Okay, so we're going with Torosaurus, I guess. In the fan translation, it was just called Mozilla. What? And I suppose you mean you are sure? This right here is the scoop to scoop up all the other scoops and bury them 10 feet deep. Man trampled by giant monster. They'll lead with that in every paper from here to Honolulu.
Ridiculous. There's no such thing as monsters. Wait.
The honor is all mine, Mr. Edgeworth. I am Dijun Wang. Your efforts on behalf of Zheng Fa have not gone unnoticed. You averted something of a crisis.
You're the assassin we've been looking for?
In a sense, yes. A certain someone did indeed hire me to carry out a contract. And that contract did indeed specify that I was to assassinate President Wang.
Did he finally manage to... You! Did you discover the body?
Yes, that is,
What are you doing, Agent Long?
Long Z says, begin at the beginning, with the first person to arrive at the scene.
Well, did you really just discover the body?
Yes. Hey, go easy on her. Can't you see she's scared?
I don't think he's in the mood to go easy on anybody.
Pah, nobody's getting it easy today.
Do you have any idea who that is lying dead over there? That's President Wang, the leader of Zheng Fa.
Hold it!
Please, Agent Long. You don't seem to be your usual self. In more ways than one, in fact. When we first met, you had more underlings, things than I could count. And you were known for your unrivaled arrest rate and your cool head under pressure. Now the underlings are gone, and you've forgotten the fundamentals of police work. What happened? What did you just say? Shouldn't you be looking over the scene instead of accusing the first person you run into? Or is it me who's forgotten the fundamentals? Gah. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. I was just about to get started. Good. That seems to have calmed him down a little.
We should take a look around too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, I think we should. At least until the police arrive. I'm not strictly supposed to conduct investigations anymore.
Don't need nobody to do no looking around. I done told y'all who did this. It was Torosaurus, so my name ain't a lot of heart. Wait. Not who did this, what did it? Yeah, that.
Are you quite finished? We have an investigation to be getting on with. Step aside, please.
You can't order me around no more, mister. You step out of my dang ways more like it. Y'all mess with this here scoop of mine, there'll be heck to pay and then some. Heck, they can't even say hell to pay? Surely they can get away with saying hell. I mean, heck to pay is funny, but... excuse me.
The woman who found the body. Where do I know her from?
You're Mr. Edgeworth, right? Do you remember me?
Oh, yes, of course. We met on, that case.
No way, you two know each other?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. From somewhere.
This is either a joke about something that I'm going to explain in a second after she reveals her name, or this is a joke about the fact that she never actually appeared in court during that case, so we never get to see Edgeworth interacting with her before. Great to meet you. I'm Kate Faraday, Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Wow, I never knew you had your own adorable assistant. I'm Penny Nichols.
Oh, Her thing just says assistant. So that's the other joke. If we, oh, she's not in the court record yet. I don't think I've mentioned it here. There's a running joke with both Wendy Oldbag and Penny Nichols, where every time they appear in a game, the court record never actually, it doesn't list them as their name. So like Oldbag, even though we know by this point her name is Oldbag, she's always listed as security lady or ex-security lady. And then in the description it says like, her name is apparently Wendy, I think, or something like that. Penny is in a similar position. And the reason for that is because even though the player, knows her name, it's there in the court record, I think. It's referenced at points. She never actually says her name to Phoenix. So the court record lists her as assistant, and then in the description says her real name is Penny Nichols, or something like that. Which is why here, despite giving us her name, she's being referred to as assistant. So that may be why Edgeworth has trouble remembering her, because she's apparently not notable enough for the court record to actually properly list her name.
I work over at Global Studios. I'm in charge of props. It's nice to meet you.
Ah, of course. One of my old cases involved a murder on the set of the Steel Samurai TV show. She was a member of the crew and thus a person of interest. Our paths must have crossed several times while it was all going on. And yet, I'd completely forgotten her. It's good to see you again. So if you're here, I guess that means...
That's right, we're here on location filming for Global Studios. It's kind of a big feature, to tell you the truth. I was in first today, wanted to make an early start. But then I noticed something was wrong. The footprints and the body...
Shut up. We'll take a closer look at the body in just a moment. In the meantime, can I ask you to notify the police?
Yes, of course, right away.
I'll need to speak with her at length a little later. But first, let's go over the scene. There's plenty to look at besides the body. I'll need to examine everything in detail. Begin investigation! We're going to start over here. Or is it maybe further up that we have to do the... There's an Easter egg here that I'm trying to get. Miss Nichols, where does this exit lead?
That? Oh, onto the grounds of the big building.
Yet another case with direct ties to that same building. The building with the hidden 51st floor used to store the lots for illicit auctions. I guess it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it turned out to be hiding yet more secrets. Big building! Look at this chain and padlock.
Oh, look at that! Somebody cut the chain!
They did.
They did? I'm sure it was still intact when I left yesterday.
I'd say it's possible that this is where the killer entered from. Chain holding the side gate closed was cut. Did the killer do it? What's the matter now?
Look at that huge dent. How did that get there?
You're right. That is a big dent. Would have taken a sizable object to make it. And a heavy one, too.
It wasn't like that yesterday either.
It wasn't? I guess that means the dent must have been made last night at some point. Dented fence was fine yesterday. Did something heavy bump into it? Okay, maybe I need to investigate from... No? How do I get the Easter egg to trigger? I know there's an Easter egg. But this is just like, it just does the... Man?
Maybe it's later? Maybe we do a second investigation here? But I know there was a thing. Do I need to do it twice? So the grounds of the big building lie beyond this gate.
Look at it from here and you'd think it was just an ordinary building, huh?
There it is! There it is!
And there's no one really special to speak of, no one really special around to speak of either.
Yeah, no one special. Certainly not the guy in blue. Well, no one from our current vantage point at any rate.
Anyway, we don't have time to ponder such things. We need to investigate this entire lot.
Right over there! There's probably one of those achievements for the first game as well that I failed to get because I missed my opportunity. But, you didn't see me miss my opportunity because I didn't stream the first game. Let's have a look around. This thing in front of the trailer here. It looks like a monster costume.
What? That's a costume? You're sure the creature that made these huge footprints didn't just shrink or something?
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. This thing in front of the trailer here looks like a monster costume. A costume. Okay. This looks like equipment used by the lighting department.
Oh wait, I just remembered there was something I wanted to ask you. Could you maybe light me up when I'm doing my next robbery? Help me look super cool?
You want me to shine a light on you while you're committing a crime?
You bet I do. What's so weird about that? What's the point of me doing my great thieving in the dark?
That's...
Okay. The folks in the cheap seats won't be able to see a thing.
Wait, you're imagining you'll be committing this robbery in front of an audience? Stepladder. We can't interact with the stepladder? That's blasphemy. Unbelievable.
What's this big metal stick thing? Is it for climbing trees or something?
No, it's a camera crane. It's used for filming from an elevated viewpoint. There's no camera currently attached, but it would usually be positioned at the top there.
Gotcha. Sounds perfect for casing a place before a burglary.
Okay, please.
Mind if I go ask someone about borrowing it?
And how do you propose you transport it if the answer is yes?
Easy. You take the bottom part, I'll take the top.
So I'm helping now.
And if we go one little step at a time, we'll be back at your place before we know it.
And we're walking it back to my house? Okay, no. Okay, hold on. Recenter. There we go. Alright, let's have ourselves a look at the body, I guess.
It really is him, huh?
It certainly appears to be. The same man we met only a few days ago.
So this time the president really did get assassinated.
If that is what happened, the assassin certainly chose an attention-grabbing method. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Well, there's this.
Huh? What's this white thing here? Wait, it's a bone! Does that mean 2 murders?
Looks more like a horn than a bone to me. No obvious wounds, but he's definitely not breathing.
So it really was a monster.
Trampled by a giant creature? Impossible. Was he stomped on?
Huh? There's something stuck to the front of his clothes there.
Yes, speckles of a yellow substance.
I bet it's monster drool. Yeah, that must be it.
Please, Kay, can you at least try to be sensible? We'll need forensics to tell us what it might be. Alright, that looks to be pretty much all the body can tell us for now. I'd better note it all down. Surrounded by shards of concrete, flecks of something yellow stuck to the clothes.
The body's surrounded by pieces of smashed up concrete.
Yes, they look to have been thrown clear when the ground was broken.
Pew! Sent flying by the mighty impact of a giant creature's foot.
Sure, assuming this was the work of a giant creature. Concrete was broken and the earth exposed, but are they really footprints?
Just look at the shape. I know a hoof when I see one. There's only one thing that can possibly be. The footprint of an enormous, terrifying beast. And it's not just the one. There are 3.
3 footprints. But you know that's impossible, don't you? You know that monsters aren't real.
Sure, I probably know that somewhere deep down, but it's way more fun to believe they are.
Our job is to pursue the truth, Kay. Not what feels the most fun in the moment. Alright, let's get to speaking to some people now, I guess.
I'm sorry I got a little upset before.
You were working here alone?
That's right. I came before everyone else so I could get everything ready. But as soon as I walked through the gate, I saw the footprints. Monster prints first thing in the morning. That must have been a real shock. It was. They weren't there when I left yesterday evening, I'm sure of it.
So the footprints must have appeared late last night.
At first glance, I thought maybe they were part of the set. But then I got closer and saw that somebody was lying in the middle of one of them.
You didn't notice until you were right up close?
Yeah, my eyesight just seems to be getting worse and worse lately. I think I need new glasses. I didn't notice it was a body until I was right by it, which is why I got so shocked and ran away.
That must be when we bumped into her. Movie shoot. So you're shooting a movie? It wouldn't happen to be a Steel Samurai movie, would it?
Nope.
Oh.
This one's a creature feature. You know the Torosaurus movies, right?
Oh, there goes my thing. One moment. My acoustic foam is collapsing. Stick it back on. Stick it back on. Press it down far away so that it doesn't fall off. Pressing it down. Pressing it down. This would probably be easier if I just stuck them to the walls like I used to. But I don't want to get in trouble for damaging the walls. Not that they did before, but they complained about it before, so I'm like, yeah, let's just not do that. Let's not do that. Anyway, I'm afraid not.
You'll have to forgive Mr. Edgeworth. He only cares about the Steel Samurai.
That's not...
Hey, that's alright. Not everyone's a fan. But they soon will be. There he is. He's back after 12 years of silence. The big bad bull himself, Torosaurus. It's the first Torosaurus movie in a long time, so the crew's super excited about it. And parts of it are set here at the big building, so we've been shooting on location.
That explains what we saw yesterday. What's happening here? What's going on with the building? Just stay calm and talk to me, kid.
Cut. I'm so sorry, we're shooting a movie. Could you,
That must be what they were filming.
So does Torosaurus smash the big building to pieces in the movie? I bet he does, right? Wouldn't you like to know? But you'll just have to you'll just have to wait to find out. Here, you can have this if you'd like.
Oh, thank you. An epic rivalry is born. The legendary Torosaurus versus Gordy, a Global Studios production. Oh. Gordy? Huh.
That's right, it's not just Torosaurus on his own this time around. He has an arch nemesis. You know Gordy, right? The monster from Gord Lake? Oh yeah, wasn't everybody talking about that a couple years back? The mysterious creature in the lake showed up in that one couple's photo, and it turned out to just be a steel samurai balloon getting blown all the way across the lake. Not only were people talking about it, it played a major part in one of my cases. You know, that's a weird way to describe it, Edgeworth. Normally, one of my cases would be referring to a case that Edgeworth prosecuted, but no, it was a case where Edgeworth was the defendant. Not a name I'm too wild about hearing again. The director's fascinated by the stories, which is how Gordy wound up in the movie. Oh, by the way, let me check the profiles, yeah. Crew member. A props person at Global Studios and the first to discover the body. Her name is Penny Nichols. So yeah, it's a joke that I guess that she's not very memorable, so they don't put her name properly in the court record. There is one other character that happens with, but he's only ever shown up once, and so we don't know if it's a recurring joke with him as well. Anyway. A little behind the times, but better late than never, I suppose. Just wait till you see those two legends tearing into each other on the big screen. Creature feature flyer, latest in the series after 12 years hiatus. After 12-year hiatus, Torosaurus vs. Gordy. This reminds me of something I've seen already. I think we need to learn a little more about the security situation here on set. Miss Nichols, is the set locked? Is the set kept locked overnight? Yeah, we use one of these. A combination lock, huh? So anybody who knows the code can get in and out. And was the lock in place when you arrived this morning? Yep. Everything was locked up tight when I got here. Who knows the combination? The producer, the director, the crew, the actors, basically everyone who's working on the movie. So any member of the cast or crew could have opened the lock and entered. Used on the front gate, only the cast and crew know the combination. Oh, it's not here, so we can't show it to her. Cool. I thought that was what they were talking about with the... Oh. Reminds me of something. But anyway, side gate cut and combination lock. Because the combination lock, the combination is known by all the crew working on the movie, and it is still there. But the side gate was cut and doesn't have a combination. That implies that the culprit was not part of the crew, the cast or crew. Yeah. The combination lock on the gate leading to the plaza was intact when Miss Nichols arrived. But the lock on the gate leading out to the side of the big building has been cut. What does this tell us? Easy, that the killer used the side gate. Precisely, and it tells us something else important too. Namely, that our culprit didn't know the number for the combination lock. You're right! It would have been way easier to come in that way if they did. But instead they chose the classic thief's route, the lesser-known side entrance. This is no run-of-the-mill criminal, Mr. Edgeworth. We need to keep our wits about us. I'm not sure we should be excited by that fact, Kay. Anyway, we know that everybody working on the movie knew the combination, which makes it likely that our culprit wasn't a member of the cast or crew. Movie set locks. Alright, lot of time. What is it now? Can't you say I'm busy? Girl needs room to work, you know? Why are you so obsessed with the idea that this was a monster attack? Monsters don't exist. Surely even you know that. What did you... You don't know what the heck you're talking about. Torosaurus is real, dang it. I know that for a fact. For a fact, And how is that possible exactly? Because I done seen him. What? You saw Torosaurus? Where? How? Heck yeah, I seen him. The big bad bull right here and right there in front of me. I was up on 51 over over at that there big building just yesterday, right?
Gathering materials for your story on the underground auction. Yes, we remember.
Well, ain't you just Mr. Memory Man? That's right. I done seen him right when I took that photo. The person in the red raincoat. Miss Ringer, right? Yep. Y'all see that blind over right there next to Little Miss Redcoat? Well, guess who was on the other side of that at that very moment? That's right. Torosaurus. There's nothing there? Well, I can't probably capture every dang thing. I was a little too far away, that's all. Sorry, my throat is dying a little. But I seen it all right, boy did I. Torosaurus' big ol' eyes staring right at me, peeking right in the... Right in at the window. A window peeking monster. Anyhow, I don't got time to be shooting the breeze with y'all. I got snaps to snap, reportage to report. Quit bugging me, will you? Go on, get.
That entire story was ridiculous.
You didn't believe a word she said, did you, Mr. Edgeworth?
Is it that obvious? Alright, then I guess we speak to Long? So, Mr. Prosecutor, we meet again. Yes, we saw you at the detention center the other day, too. You had some business to take care of, I take it, Agent Long? You could say that. Nothing that need concern you, though. Pah! Yeah, you really have a habit of showing up in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're a bad penny, bad omen, and a bad smell all rolled into one. Just stay out of my way, okay? I've got a president to avenge. Why are you here? You were already at the scene when we got here. Why? What were you doing in the area? What am I, a suspect? Huh, you might be. Look, I heard a scream and came running, okay? Guess it was our friend from the crew. Came in from that gate over there. Somebody already got rid of the lock for me. Not completely, I can still see it on the floor though. Perhaps I should take a closer look. We already have. Sorry, stretching. When I got here, I saw a movie girl running out of the other gate. In other words, he arrived right around the same time we did. So you had business here at the big building? Something like that. A date with destiny, let's call it. He was similarly enigmatic when we saw him at the detention center.
Let me guess. You're a huge Creature Feature fan, so you came to see them filming the Torosaurus movie?
Creature features? What do you think I am? Not the type of person who thinks a creature might have done this, I hope. President Wong, I'm sorry about the president. You have my deepest condolences. Thanks. He was a great man. Zhang Fa will be lost without him. You and he were close, correct? It all started when he hired my father. That was our big break. Our family kept him safe. That was our most important duty, and our most sacred. He gave my father medal after medal. He had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there were no medals left to give, so he made us the keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they're our greatest pride, our family jewels. Yeah, never thought we'd be unsealing that will so soon.
Wow, sounds like your family and the president were super close. But wait, when that whole thing happened back at the lake, you weren't with the president then, right?
Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones who kept him safe. He just
changed one day. It was like he became a different person. Now he doesn't trust the police one bit. I wonder what happened 12 years ago. But regardless of what happened, I still respected him. Zhangfa may not be a big country, but he held that place together. Damn it! What was his security detail thinking? I imagine you've already contacted the embassy. Of course I have, and the government, and my family. They'll be going crazy right now thinking about what needs to happen with that will. And things will get crazy here soon too. Those bodyguards will be all over the place. If you're not a fan of trouble, I'd leave before they get here. Look, Mr. Prosecutor. These days I'm a one-man outfit, a lone wolf. They won't be letting me lead this investigation. But I've still got fangs, and I can still bite back. I'll find whoever did this, and I won't let you or anybody else get in my way. Okay, that's... So is there more logic? What logic do we have? Was he stomped on? Dented fence, 3 footprints. Ooh, so like he was crushed and also the fence was dented, so he must have been hit by something heavy, right? No. Fuck. That doesn't add up. I'd better think again. Hold on, let me check what evidence do we have. Do we have anything to present to anyone? Oh, we have K's badge instead of our own. And what about this?
Torosaurus really does have hooves that are split in two like that.
Please don't tell me you think the president was trampled to death by Torosaurus too.
No, I am a member of the movie crew, remember? I don't believe he'd ever kill anybody. No creature inside a movie should ever harm anybody outside of a movie. It's a golden rule of the creature feature community.
What the fuck are you talking about? Huh. Luckily it's also impossible. Okay, so nothing there.
Wait, that's...
You recognize it?
Huh? Oh, sorry, I must have been thinking of something else. I really do need some new glasses. I'm such an idiot!
It's really not something to get so upset about. Okay. What about long? Oh, it's giving us a tick, which I assume means we're all done there. Oh, hello.
Hey, these are those plastic sheets you can pull down when you have a picnic.
They're plastic sheets, that much is true. But I don't think that's what they're used for.
Want me to explain, Mr. Edgeworth? Those are waterproof sheets. We use them to protect the camera when it's up on the crane. If it starts raining while we're shooting, we can just cover it up and keep going. I see. So they must be pretty big, right? Yeah, they have to be able to cover the whole rig. Wouldn't be much point in using them otherwise. The weather was pretty patchy yesterday, so we wound up using them quite a bit.
I see. And that didn't give us any actual evidence. Okay, so... I guess we still got a logic. Is it stepped on in 3 footprints? No? Okay. That's not quite right. I need to reconsider the information at hand. Because these don't seem like they have any connection. But it's also all I have, so let's do it anyway. Dented fence, 3 footprints. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. Okay, so it's not logic. It also says, like, we've already done what we need here. Let's just present stuff. Yeah, what are you showing me that for? Curse whoever killed President Wong. I'll find them. You'll see if I don't. Forgive me, Agent Long. I didn't mean to upset you. He seems to find it hard to keep a cool head where the president is concerned. Unsurprisingly, I guess. Can't help but feel a little sorry for him, huh? Isn't there something we can do?
Yes, listen carefully to what he has to say, and try to help solve the president's murder.
What is this one? Good luck getting revenge for what happened 12 years ago. I don't fucking know this. What? You want to talk about Torosaurus? With everything else that's going on? I'm certainly not saying that the creature could be our culprit, but he's not unrelated to the case. If there's anything you can tell us, I'd be very much obliged. Well, President Wong had a Torosaurus toy from way back when. There we go. I saw it a couple times over the years. That's why I recognized it. A stuffed toy. We saw it in the presidential plane, too. If even the leaders of other countries love Torosaurus, he must be famous everywhere. Dogs go bow bow in other languages, right? And cats go meow, and roosters go, Kokoriko. Okay, so bow bow, that's like... That's Japanese, I'm pretty sure. And the only reason I know that is because of fucking Hololive. Fuamoko, bow bow. Meow spelt like that, I think is French. Kokoriko, I don't know. What noise would a Torosaurus from another country make? We don't even know what noise our own Torosaurus makes, do we? Okay, that apparently was not what we needed. What about these? Okay, never mind, that's the same thing. Bow bow! What about big building? Why are you shoving this in my face? You ought to be careful I don't bite it. Perhaps I'd better put it away. Okay. Let's just present everything. Badge. That's the pin your assistant always wears, right? Yep, it represents nature's toughest and fiercest creature, the Yaragarasu. Pretty cool, right? Toughest and fiercest. Isn't it just a bird? Sorry, but I'm not about to let that pass. Longzi says, the wolf outstrips the raven in every respect. Somehow I don't think that's something your ancestor said. That little black bird of yours wouldn't survive even a single swipe of a wolf's claws. Those are big words, Sir Howls-a-Lot. But you know what else, what us thieves say? The raven is pretty darn amazing. That's... Kay, you are not winning any arguments here. I could peck you to bits and fly off before your stupid claws, so why have you even ever got close? You think a wolf can't jump? I'd snap you out of the sky before you could fly away like a coward. Ha! I'd just flap my wings super hard and blast you across the... That is not... Kay. Grr. Ah! I had to endure an argument like this since elementary school. Okay, so nothing here. What about you? That is not what I meant to do. Oh, that's the same. Such an idiot! Yeah, she wouldn't have anything to say about that. Such an idiot! She didn't recognize the building, apparently. Didn't recognize the body. Torosaurus... Oh, we already read this one. Torosaurus is kind of a symbol of nature. That's why he destroys the city. Oh, so he really is like Godzilla. And that's why they called him Moozilla in the fan translation. Godzilla's like a force of fucking nuclear radiation. Represents the atom bombs.
or whatever. So Torosaurus being like a force of nature is a similar thing. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
He can attack with his horns, but that's not the only trick up his sleeve. He can bellow out shockwaves, drown people in drool, squirt them with milk.
Okay.
He can suffocate them with barbecue smoke and make cute little items out of leather. Those don't sound like super tough attacks, but they'll sure look good. It's our job to make sure of that.
And I hope you succeed for the sake of your entire industry. Okay. I have no fucking clue what we're supposed to do right now. Can we talk to Lotta again? Okay, no. Yeah. Okay, so Lotta gives us nothing. Long gives us nothing. Penny gives us nothing. I'm fairly certain we've already looked at everything. Then the logic bits don't fit together. So like what is there left to investigate? There's this. We already got the Easter egg there. Hey Kay, tell me what to do.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Can't believe somebody murdered the president. Well, I say somebody, but maybe I should say something.
You don't really believe that, do you? That a giant creature trampled him to death?
What? Are you saying that's not what happened? Then who did kill the president, huh?
It could have been any number of people. A person in his position is never short of enemies. Shelley the Killer himself was hired to go after him, as we know.
So you're saying maybe somebody like Mr. the Killer murdered him?
I can't say anything for certain, but it's a possibility we can't discount for now.
Right, just like the possibility that a monster killed him. It's a monster footprint he's lying in, Mr. Edgeworth. What else could it be? And there's a horn thing right by the body too.
A horn thing? I guess we can't say for certain that it's not related to the case. Maybe we should compare it to some of the items in evidence we've found so far. Oh, I see now. But it gives us the tick there, which made me think, there wasn't anything left to do. But there is. They're being tricksy. Because the horn is clearly Mozilla's horn. Not Mozilla, Torosaurus. God damn it. This could be one of Torosaurus's horns, couldn't it?
You're right, it totally could. Maybe it's part of a prop from the movie?
If it is, it must be from something pretty big, judging by the size.
What's it doing on the ground here?
We should ask one of the crew. Maybe they'll know.
Okie dokie.
Broken horn. This horn, do you recognize it?
Huh? Oh, that's part of one of Torosaurus's horns. It's from a model we use for promotional stuff. Where did you find it?
On the ground near the side entrance.
That's weird. We keep a replica of Torosaurus's head up on the roof of the trailer over there.
And it's quite large, I assume?
Oh yeah, well, not as big as the real thing, obviously, but it's still pretty big. It's just up there, see it?
Oh, you can... Oh, because it's widescreen now, you can actually see them off camera. In the original, it was on the DS, so it was like scrunched. And you couldn't actually see them during this part. You could only see them if you got the Easter egg. What is going on outside? Okay, so the mic is picking that up. Okay, sorry about that.
What is going on? What is that sound? Anyway, right there. That really is big. Broken horn found fallen next to the body. The head's usually kept up on the roof of the trailer, that's where it was supposed to be yesterday as well. And now we logic. Because the dented fence, along with the broken horn, indicates that the big heavy head fell off the roof. Yeah. Both the dent in the fence and the broken horn weren't there yesterday, according to our witness. Which leads me to wonder.
Wait, you think that giant Torosaurus head could have...
I do. I think it could well have rolled off the trailer roof and landed in the lot below. It seems more than possible, and it also means he wasn't stomped on, he was crushed by the head. There's no sign of a murder weapon anywhere.
Oh yeah, there isn't.
Now, this is still only a possibility, but if the Torosaurus head somehow fell from the roof up there...
Yeah, that could kill someone for sure.
Miss Nichols, would you mind if we took a look up on the roof of the trailer?
You want to go up there? Sure, I don't see why not. Knock yourselves out. Oh, but don't do that literally. The steps can be kind of slippy.
Alright, I'm done here. I found out what I need to know for now. What might that be, I wonder? Oh hey, it's the kid. I think I might have been spoiled on his name through the wiki, but I don't remember what it is. Having a staring match. Move, old man. What did you say to me? You need to learn some manners, kid. Milk. Okay. No. You need to learn when you're in the way. Quit whining and get out of here. What the?
I'm so sorry about him. Sean, apologize to the nice man.
Sean!
Come on, Sean, you know you can't speak to people like that.
Why is this still question marks? We know his name is Sean. Whatever. Who the heck was he?
Policeman, that's who. Why'd you antagonize him like that?
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be trouble for a second there.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody stand up to Agent Long like that.
Oh, let me introduce you all. Everybody, this is Sean Fenn. He's the star of the movie we're making.
I'm sure there's a pun there. I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head. His name in the fan translation was John Marsh, which is also not a very obvious pun. The star, this little boy.
Hi there, I'm Kay Faraday. It's nice to meet you. Sean, this is Miles Edgeworth. He's a prosecutor.
Prosecutor?
That's right, and a pretty famous one at that.
If he's a prosecutor, where's his badge? Nah, he certainly doesn't pull any punches.
You might not want to get too close, Sean.
She's right. It's no sight for a child. But he's involved in all this nonetheless. I'll need to speak with him. Okay, but first, let's look up here. Actually, would you mind coming up there with us?
Oh, sure. After you.
So this is the mighty Torosaurus.
Huh? He looks different from before. Here, he's way cooler on the flyer. What's with the weird nose ring on this model? Oh, I forgot. You two aren't Torosaurus fans. This is the original Torosaurus design from 12 years back.
Huh? So, what's the one on the flyer?
That's the all-new Torosaurus. They gave him a makeover specifically for the movie. Especially for the movie. He looks so much more contemporary now, don't you think? A makeover? He's totally different. This one, it's just
A cow. Without ears. A cow without ears. That's important.
well, he is just a cow. Or at least he was originally based on a cow. He's a monstrosity. A monstrosity? Yeah, the cow, man's best friend, reimagined as a terrifying monster.
I think you're thinking of dogs.
It totally makes you think about our whole relationship with nature, right? That was the original concept. I think the concept might be a little lost on me.
Me too, I'm afraid. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Well, there's this.
The model was made for promotional events, stuff like that. So people would remember the old Taurosaurus and realize this was a reboot. Yeah, he does look different. People might not get it otherwise.
And just as we thought, his horn is broken.
So the model really is what killed the president?
I think it's a distinct possibility, but there's one thing I don't quite understand.
What's that?
Miss Nichols, the model looks very heavy. How do you move it around?
Oh, it comes apart. If you know the trick, it's not so hard. But I guess if you didn't, you might struggle to figure it out.
If you happen to not be a member of the cast or crew, for example. Once it's in pieces, could one person move it?
Oh yeah, even I could. Maybe not very fast, but I could.
Taurosaurus head modeled on the first generation Taurosaurus design. Seems like it fell from the roof on set production last night. Set production trailer. Sure I remember that face from somewhere.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. I know this cow.
Funny, I was just thinking the exact same thing. We know it from the President's plane, of course. And from the auction. So President Wong's plushie
Was a soft toy version of the original Taurosaurus.
Can this really be just a coincidence? Hey, now we got the thing. What about this? It's a wooden table, sadly collapsed. Parts of it are badly scorched.
That's weird. The head should be on that table. But the legs are broken. Guess Taurosaurus isn't going back on there now.
The scorch marks look particularly bad where the legs snapped off. I think there might have been a fire up here.
Do you think that's what happened to the legs?
Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed. And the head
would have fallen down onto the ground below. You're right. The fire caused the head to fall.
Indeed. And I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep them.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll make sure somebody moves them. But the stove didn't get used yesterday. Not while I was here anyway.
Which makes the question of what could have started the fire all the more interesting.
There's a heater here. Do you think it's to keep the crew warm or something?
I would imagine so. It's spring now, but the evenings can still be pretty chilly. It really gets in your bones.
Oh, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You can't start talking like an old fogey. You already look like one. You have to talk young, and bright, and happy.
You may not have noticed, Kay, but that's not exactly my style. These look like cans of paint thinner. I guess they were being used by the props department.
Look at the ground around them, Mr. Edgeworth. It's all burned.
Indeed. As is the blue sheet underneath and the nearby newspaper. And the outside of the cans.
Wait, do you think the Taurosaurus head can breathe fire? Nah, this old guy doesn't look like the fire-breathing type.
It's not even possible, let alone likely. Still, the fire was started somehow. And last but not least, we got this.
Yeah, I think I could probably throw that little baby over my shoulder and carry it out of here.
You're not thinking of stealing it, are you, Kay?
No, I was thinking I could just carry it around with me. Then every time you shout, "Objection!" I can light you up with it and make you look super cool. Yeah, I can picture it now. You'd look amazing. Well, do I get the job? When do I start?
Hopefully never. I think that's everything. It looks to be everything. Alright, let's go speak to Sean. It was Sean, wasn't it? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Are you really a prosecutor? You just look like an old guy to me. I am. Old guy? Charmed, I'm sure. Oh wait, I was gonna check how old is Edgeworth, but he doesn't have a profile in the organizer. Badge first, then we talk. I don't have my badge right now. And how do you expect people to believe you're a prosecutor? Nah.
Phew, he's not the friendliest, huh? You want me to try talking to him?
Why not? I doubt it can hurt. I was never good with children.
So you're an actor, right, Sean?
Yeah, so what?
That's amazing! You're so cool.
It's not that big of a deal. Kay's approach seems to be having an effect.
So, those horns are yours?
Yeah, what about them?
Oh, those? The makeup department made them. The character he plays has a special psychic link with Torosaurus, and the horns allow him to communicate with his giant friend. Isn't that right, Sean?
Just shut up, will you? They don't need to know all that stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Well, the power dynamic here seems to be pretty obvious.
Still, that's kind of amazing, huh? The lead character in a movie? While you're still in elementary school? That's crazy.
Oh.
Sean's actually 13. He just looks a little younger.
What?
But look at him! He's so little and cute! And the backpack, I just thought...
How old are elementary school students? I don't fucking know this shit. Is 13 not elementary aged? Is that high school? I don't know.
The backpack's part of his costume. He's playing a role, remember? Yeah, I guess he is, huh? But he is kind of small, you have to admit. Oh, we try not to talk about that too much in front of him. I said, stop telling people stuff they don't need to know! But I'm sorry.
So it's all part of the role, except for the carton of milk, maybe?
The dead guy. That's the president, right? Yeah. You knew him?
A little.
I met him once.
He's meeting with presidents now?
Peh. Guy was a real piece of work. Hey, you can't say that. It's not nice. What was so bad about him anyway? Huh? Don't want to talk about it? Fine, I guess. Oh, President Wong was working with us on the movie.
Working with you? How exactly?
He had a part. Just a cameo, nothing big. So he came to look around the set one time. That would have been when Sean met him.
Why put the president in your movie?
We heard he was a huge fan of the original Torosaurus. So the studio offered him a little role. They figured it would be good PR.
Last thing I need is amateurs on my set.
I told you before, Sean, you can't talk about people like that.
And I told you to shut your mouth! I guess he's none too thrilled about the idea of performing alongside non-professionals. Oh, here.
What's this? Oh wait, from yesterday?
Photograph? Yeah, I just got them printed. You can keep it if you want.
Wow, it's such a great picture. You brought it specially for me? It's so kind, thank you.
No, I just happen to have a spare. That's all. I hope you don't mind me asking, but can we take a look too?
Oh, sure, here.
So it was taken yesterday. No footprints and certainly no body. Investigation complete.
Yay! Let me stretch. Now I'm just gonna wait until we find a good stopping point and then we're gonna end, probably. I unfortunately do have things I need to do today, so can't just go forever. Alright, I think that just about wraps up our preliminary investigations.
So, was he killed by... So he was killed by...
Yes, by a falling Torosaurus head. At least that seems the most likely explanation for now.
Came down right on top of him, huh?
Hmm? Well, they took their time, but here they are. The police, bodyguards, the whole gang. Mr. President! It's a little late for that, don't you think? Curses! Who did this? Whoever it was made a big mistake. But I promise you this. They'll pay. I'm on their trail already. What? What do you mean? Our president may have been murdered, but that doesn't mean that extraterritoriality applies. They need to specify this because the first game had a whole big fucking oh, actually, they mentioned this in the first case as well. But yeah, the end of the previous game had a whole big thing about extraterritoriality. The local police have jurisdiction. Luckily, I know the right people to talk to. And I just got myself seconded to the case. Lowly one-man outfit or not, I'll be working this one. Sounds like you already have an idea of where you'd like to focus your inquiries. More than that, I've already caught the scent of my prey. Take a look at this. It's a printout from a security camera on the viewing platform at the top of the big building. It's pointed at the elevator that leads to the roof, so it records everybody who goes up there. And in this particular case, it recorded the president and his murderer, clear as day.
What's Judge Gavelle doing there?
He's saying he suspects her of the murder? Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment onto Excelsius Winner. But murder goes against everything she believes in. Security camera footage. Agent Long, perhaps you could explain your thinking on the matter a little further. I heard a little rumor while I was over at the big building. It was about you, Edgeworth. You're not a prosecutor anymore, are you? Which means you don't have jurisdiction here. Do you want to cross-examine me while I explain my thinking? Why would I agree to that? Curses.
Hey, don't be like that. You were the one who was just talking about being a lonely one-man outfit.
You know what? Maybe it should be you explaining your thinking to me. How come, even though you're not a prosecutor, you're still sticking your nose into this case? It's a valid question. Why am I still here? Why is Kay still here, for that matter? Perhaps I can clarify that with a question of my own, Agent Long. Why are you so desperate to catch the person who murdered President Wong? Because above all else, you're an investigator, correct? I'm desperate to catch a certain somebody myself. The person who orchestrated a murder at the big building yesterday. A person who put Kay's freedom in jeopardy, who put her in grave danger. That person is out there somewhere right now, lurking in the shadows, laughing. And until I uncover the truth and make that person pay, it doesn't matter if I'm a prosecutor anymore. I'll keep fighting. Find the truth, and don't give up until you do. That's a rule, and that's a rule I live by. Pah. You may have the look of a smart guy, but you're a fool just like the rest of us. A fool? How dare you? That was just what I needed to hear. Fine, you're in. I've lost my minions and you've lost your fancy title. But it seems neither of us is prepared to give up on this investigation. Now, seeing as we're both so stubborn, how about we go head to head and thrash out the details? I'd be honored. But be warned, I won't be going easy on you. I have an assassin to catch. Not even you're going to get in the way of that. Of course, I would expect no less. Let me show you the truth I tore from this case with my bare fangs. And we will do that next time. We will save it here. Hey, my computer didn't crash today. That's pretty cool. You can see how little I've been using my Switch. It's literally just Pokemon and Ace Attorney. Anyway, let's go back over to the... Well, I say back over to the Just Chatting screen. We weren't there in the start, but we are now. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the Just Chatting screen. That's going to be all for today. I need to let my throat rest. I need to draw a comic strip. I need to get some groceries. Need to do a bit of cleaning. Oh god, I'm gonna be so busy. Oh no. Anyway, my next stream is gonna be tomorrow around the same time. Hopefully a little earlier, assuming I can get out of bed in time and also OBS doesn't, you know, give me trouble with my microphone. As for what we're doing, we'll see. I do kind of want to do some drawing, sketching, some character designs and whatnot, but I might also just be like, fuck it, let's play more Ace Attorney. We'll see how I feel in the morning. That's the beauty of not sticking to a strict schedule. Okay, desktop audio is muted, good. Let's have a look who's online. Who is streaming right now? Oh, would you look at that? Oh, she's finally out of her embargo period. Why is it not muting? Why is it not muting? Why is the entire fucking... Why is it frozen? I'm trying to mute it so that I can speak. The fucking Twitch just crashed. Okay, mute that. Cool beans. If you've been watching me long enough, you know who we're raiding. Because I always raid her, because she's always streaming when I stream. It's Mahika Miko. I say that like there's actually anyone here to join the raid. There is not, it's just me. But that's fine. I'm used to that. Yeah, Miko's currently playing Monster Hunter Wilds. She can finally play it now that her subathon goal is over. And yeah. I'm gonna go rest my throat and do the things I needed to do. Thanks for watching. Otsukame. Bye bye. And see you.